Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome to another art night. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to go and do a little bit of glitch stuff today. So, glitch is a word that gets tossed around a lot, and it means different things in different media. So, if we use glitch in a musical context, it would mean something very different than when we use it in image or video based media art. And in the context of process, the process is very different. On most occasions, there's always exceptions with these things. There are glitch artists who are working with sound, and their process is somewhat similar in a deconstructive sense to what people are doing with visual media. But for the most part, the connotations are different when we talk about the creative process. So, what do I mean when I talk about glitch? And in the context of what we're going to be doing tonight. So glitch art, when we talk about glitch, we talk about it in two kind of different spheres of the conversation. We talk about glitch in a semi-political, critical art theory context when you talk about the process of glitch and working through the medium in a way, deconstructing the medium, deconstructing the technology, which is what we're going to be doing today. And through that exploration, through that process, saying something about, these political systems that are in place. And on the flip side of that, we talk about glitch as an aesthetic, as the pure visual artifacts that you receive when you manipulate files and media through these processes. So in a music context, when we talk about glitch, we normally the conversation tends to kind of focus on that aesthetic, that glitchy sound, like, ooh, that music is broken in some way. Like, how is it making these, offbeat, non-musical, kind of noisy sounds almost? And there's a rich body of work that's associated with that. If you're into electronic music or noise or power electronics, stuff like that, glitch is kind of a prominent term in those spheres. But when we talk about process, the process of making a glitch sound has very little to do with deconstruction of the technology or exploration of, of the political kind of context of doing this kind of stuff. And that's what we're also interested in talking about today a little bit. So, I've been putting a few videos by now, and I mostly work with the stuff that I work with, so I have, somewhat fittingly enough, I have Google open on my screen right now, and, I'm gonna actually just take that, just so that I have it. Yeah, and I work with the Adobe Creative Suite. I have I'm on the cloud. I'm a member of the Adobe army of creative minions. I also have I'm recording this video. I'm doing this work on an Apple computer, on a MacBook Pro, which is, when you think about the practices of these companies and the conditions under which they operate, the conditions under this this software and this hardware is being made, and how it's being marketed, and how it's being dominating and slowly kind of swallowing these industries is highly problematic. And I mean, I participate in it in a way as a consumer and as a creator, and I have no illusions about, you know, the type of work that I'm making and how I am in a way a part of the problem. But that doesn't mean that I'm happy with that. It definitely doesn't mean that I'm, you know, oblivious to the fact, or that I... It's difficult because, in a sense, I feel like I've kind of sacrificed a part of my integrity by signing up for these products that are so useful and powerful, and I can make beautiful work on them. And I love working with Photoshop. I love working with you know, I love working on my beautiful computer. But at the same time, I can't turn off my brain and turn off my memory of understanding and knowing how this stuff is being made. And it doesn't take much in terms of research to look up these kind of practices. So just talking, you know, Apple might be too depressing for what we're going to be doing tonight. So talking a little bit about Adobe, this is stuff that doesn't get talked about enough, I would say. Back in the day, in the 1500s, when Adobe was still on the Creative Studio kind of family of products, you would buy a piece of software from them, and it's pretty straightforward. You get it, and you have it on your computer, and you're free to use it as an owner of the software. You purchased it from Adobe. Now, when we say you own a software, that's a problematic term too, because it was never like an open source software. You couldn't go into the actual code of the software and modify things. So even as an owner of that software, you're not really the owner of it. If I bought a car tomorrow and took a hammer to the windows and just smashed all the windows, I wouldn't, you know, I would be free to do that because I bought that car. It was my property. But if I bought a piece of Adobe software, or if I buy a piece of software today from someone like, say, Microsoft, and I try going into the code and modifying stuff, I would not be allowed to do that, even though I've paid money for the software and I'm its owner. But going even further from that, a few years down the line, I think this was, I could be wrong on this, but I think it was 5 or 6 years ago, Adobe switched things completely and went up on the Creative Cloud bandwagon, where you're not even owning the software. You're kind of leasing it to own, leasing it to work with, which is not the same thing. And they go so far as now, recently, in recent years, they've gone so far back into, like, so far up under cloud, I guess, that there's gradually disallowing and discontinuing users who bought software previously in previous years. They bought CS3 or CS4 or CS, you know, whatever, CS5, previous versions of Adobe products that you just bought them and then you own them, and now Adobe is telling these users, oh, sorry, you've paid money for the software and we had a contract, but a few years have passed and now we're going to backpedal on that, which is super uncool, super unethical, and just it's just ugly. It's ugly practice from a company who is making billions and totally dominates the industry on many platforms and on many different spheres of production. They have, you know, they have a good chunk of video editing software, a good chunk of special effects, good chunk of, obviously Photoshop is the dominant tool. So, as an artist, as a small fish, a very small fish, a tiny little tadpole of a fish in this world, in this creative world. I'm trying to make a little bit of a splash, make a little bit of a wave in my own little pool, and engage in some way with these issues that are, you know, painful for me to think about. And Glitch as a practice, Glitch as a process, and as a form of artistic expression, allows me to do that in a way. So working with Glitch on a very basic level doesn't really take much in terms of creative skill or experience. Anyone can really do it, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of the process. With very simple software, I'm going to be doing this on my big fancy computer, but you can do this on any computer, and it won't take much in terms of CPU. You don't need to have the best graphic card or the best, you know, you don't need to have a very powerful device to be doing this stuff. And we're going to be engaging with the file structure directly. We're going to be interacting with the code directly. And that sounds intimidating to someone who's not a coder, and I'm not a coder myself. But to someone who's not coming from that background, you're like, oh, coding, I don't really know how to do that, or I don't really know how that works. And, well, we're not going to be, you know, going into actual coding. We're just going to be looking at the code and interacting with it in a way that's not really direct, but quite direct. We're 1 degree removed, or it depends what kind of language you use, but we're 1 or 2 degrees removed from that direct binary code, from those zeros and ones that we hear about. So it's a fairly direct engagement. It's certainly a lot more hands in the code than working through your traditional image software or image manipulation tools that I would usually be working with. So it's kind of neat in that way. And I've been talking for a few minutes now, and I haven't really showed you anything, so let's just go and get into it. Let's just get working. And as I'm doing this, again, I'm just going to introduce this channel again for those of you who are coming in for the first time. So Art Night is all about creating an artistic creative community, and about working together, just doing our thing, clearing a couple of hours in a week. For me, it's quite late in the evening. I don't know where you're at, where you're watching this, but you know, you can be doing anything you want, drawing or reading if you're the kind of person who can have someone talk over them while they're reading. I certainly can't do it, but I know some people can. Or knitting a scarf, or, you know, making yourself a cup of tea and just chilling out and listening to me ramble for some reason. So that's the premise of the channel, and with that, let's dig in. So I'm going to look for an image of something. What would be an appropriate thing to glitch? I got my little Google logo, and I'm going to do something bad to it in a bit, but it's kind of small and it's not very visually interesting. So let's get something. Let's get like a robot. I'm feeling robots tonight. Oh yeah, these are good friends at Boston Dynamics. We're making cutting edge work into killer robots that are going to hunt us someday. I don't know if I'm quite ready to offend our future electronic masters, but let's get, this thing looks harmless enough. I don't think it's real. I think someone made this, so I'm not going to destroy their works. Let's look at something more industrial. Here's a little Aibo, or Chip the dog. You know what? You gotta be brave. I'm going to go and swing directly at our friends in Boston. Let's get this monstrosity, which can now also open doors if you check their if you stay regularly updated on their progress. These things can now open doors, which is great. Just fantastic. Okay, so let's get this going. Yeah, I'll just save this on the desktop for now. And the basic kind of ooh, excuse me, goodness. The basic balance last week's video I found was the sound, the music was a little bit low, so this time I've cranked it up a bit. So let me know if this is too loud. Yeah, so Starfrosch, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, which is located in Switzerland, I'm told. So the link will be in the description, and enjoy the sound and check them out if you like. Okay, so yeah, so rule 101 of Glitch is always make copies of your original, just so that, because the process of Glitch is irreversible. We're going to get right in there. We're going to get right in the file and we're going to destroy it. So with that in mind, you want to have a copy just in case, because if you mess things up, you want to be able to go back, and if you do something really beautiful and you're like, ooh, this is really cool, maybe I'll just add a tiny more, like maybe I'll just do like a tiny more here, and then oh no, it's destroyed, and you've saved it and now you can't go back. So to prevent that, I'm going to first thing make a copy here. Now we have 2 robots. I'll actually make another one. Now we have 3 robots. And before I get into a Sorcerer's Apprentice situation here, I'm just gonna grab one of these. So this is what my robot looks like. This is what the robot looks like right now. And you can see this is a fairly well shot image. They obviously have done this for some kind of official photo shoot of some sort. So, you know, contrast is nice. It's well balanced in terms of the colors and the lights and everything. We're going to change that. So when we look at an image file and we open it on our computer, every file has an extension which tells the computer this file should be regarded and handled as an image file because it's a .jpeg or it's a whatever. This one is a JPEG, and most of the stuff that you would get off of the internet would be either a JPEG or a PNG, or sometimes maybe you're downloading something like an animated GIF, like the GIF that we've made last week. But other than that extension information, other than that, you know, kind of like presentation of the information as, oh, you know, this should be engaged with as an image file. A file, every kind of file that you get out there on your computer is really the same. It's just a bunch of data, of information held together as a unit. And that information, when you break it into its very basic form, into its, you know, kind of DNA, it's just ones and zeros, right? So you have that binary language. Ones and zeros make the information on the file, and each pixel is made out of 8 of those binaries, and you know, it defines the lightness and the color and the hue and all of that information. So when we work on something like Photoshop, when we work on something like GIMP, and we're going to be working with GIMP tonight, because unlike Photoshop, GIMP is an open source and a free free software that you can just download, and I'll provide a link in the description for this video. And you can make amazing work with GIMP. You can do not all of the stuff, but much of the stuff that you can do in something like Photoshop on GIMP. And in terms of their politics and in terms of their practice, they're light years nicer and friendlier than someone like Adobe. So, highly recommended. We're not going to be... Photoshop is on timeout tonight. They know what they did. So, we're going to open this file in another piece of software, a piece of software that allows us to interact with the file not as an image file, but just as information. We're going to go into that information, we're going to mess it up, thus creating the glitch effect. Okay, so let's do this. I have two pieces of software that I use. The one is just your normal text editor. You have it on your Microsoft computer, we have it here on Mac. And when I open a file in that, I'll just drag it in there. You see that we get something like this. And this language is something between this and binary. It's called Saki, something like that. And it basically comprised of every single digit, every single letter, number, sign that you can create on your keyboard. So it's quite, you know, in terms of its alphabet, it's quite an expensive language. And I certainly don't know what any of these parameters mean at all, but I know how to break them. You know, you don't need to be a mechanical engineer to break down an engine. You just need a hammer. And what we're going to do is going to be, you know, taking a proverbial hammer to this text. The second tool I use, and I use that one, I would say a little bit more frequently, is a hex editor. And a hex editor, I'm using HexFiend, which is also a piece of freeware, and you can get it on the internet. I'll provide the link in the description. You can see that when I open my image in the hex editor, I have two panels. I have my Saki language here on the right panel, similar to this one, and then on the left I have this matrix-like boxes of 8. And this is hex. This is hex comes from, I guess, the Latin for 8, and it breaks the binary. So if we're looking at like languages, this would be somewhere here. Then we will have Saki here. Then we will have hex, and right here we will have the direct binary, the very basic DNA, the very basic building blocks of the code. So they're all different ways of saying the same thing. They're just expressing the information on the file. Okay, so why is this interesting? Why is this important? So to create a glitch, we don't really edit the file. We just go right in there, we go into the code, we mess stuff up, and then we get something, we get a result. I don't really control the result. I can't really predict what I'll get. I have no idea what I'll do. And after this, if you ask me to repeat what I've done, unless I keep a very meticulous record of my process, which I'm not going to do tonight, it'll be very hard for me to do. Okay, so let's get right in there. I'm going to select my hex editor here, HexFiend, and I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to go to Find. And Find and Replace is the tool that I work with most. You can see I can toggle between my hex and my text, and I'm just going to go into my text here. And I'm going to do something like, you know, if you go with a single letter, usually it's going to corrupt the file, it's going to destroy it beyond the point where it can be even viewed as an image file anymore. And we don't really want that. While it's interesting, that you can break a file to that degree, it's also not very rewarding to just get an error message telling you, oh, this file is too broken, we don't know what this is, and we can't view it. We can't make it viewable. So we're not going to be doing that. We're going to engage with it more subtly. So I'm going to select just a chunk here. I'm not going to engage with all of this. I'm going to take like a chunk here in the middle and just define that as the kind of area that I'm going to engage with. And let's replace, you know, let's replace hate with love. I'm going to say replace all. I'm going to say save. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Ta-da! It's glitched. This is the very basic of the process. This is the bare bones. And you can see that I did this in 2 seconds. Anyone could do this. It's very democratic in that way. It's very friendly. So cool. I'm going to keep that. I actually like this. So this will be one copy of my robot here. Let's go and do another one. In the words of the great DJ Khaled, let's do another one. So I want to open this copy so that I have it here. And then let's open this in hex again. Alright, yeah. There we go. And let's start messing with this a little bit. And this time I'm going to go even more subtle. I want to like just create like a streak, like a little very localized kind of change here. So again, I'm going to go to find. And I'm going to be working on the text again. And this time I'll define like a smaller section, right? Kind of like right in the middle here. I hope that it makes sense to you why these kind of processes are now repeatable. Because obviously I won't be able to locate this like, oh yeah, I did it after this like weird Greek letter here, or you know, on the raw number 5038 from the top. It's really a one-off kind of process. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit more subtle this time. I'm going to go and just select 3 digits and replace that, because the probability of 3 symbols repeating is a lot less likely than 2. So I'm assuming the change is going to be more subtle. So I'm going to go with 6 dot this bracket, and I'm going to change it into this equal J. I don't know. And we'll replace all and save. And it didn't actually do anything, so maybe we need to go a little bit more aggressive. I'm just gonna select a nice, very small section. That's actually a bit too much. Something like this. And let's do to at, and we change that to question mark slash. Alright, we'll replace that and save. Okay, so you see that still we got I'm actually kind of really digging the color palette that we got here. It kind of looks like the buy flag a little bit, which I'm digging, so I'm gonna keep that. And then let's open another copy here. I'm just gonna duplicate this again because I don't want to be working on my original. Never work on your original. Okay, so let's try this one more time. This will be the last time I'm working on this image because I'm getting a little bit bored with it. This radio is like chaotic. This is very appropriate. Let's go. I'm digging this. Go Switzerland. Do this. And let's change all the Y comma into 7s and this bracket. And save that. Okay. This is kind of cool. You can still see the outlines of the robot a bit. But I think it might be... Let's see if we can add another layer on top of this. I want to select the section here. A fairly small section again. And let's change all the 53 into X's and Q's. And obviously this kind of code is case sensitive, so bear that in mind. And we'll save that on top of our previous glitch. And you see that we got some artifacts here, we got some displacement happening, which is neat. Let's keep going. Let's see how far we can go with this. I'm going to select a small section kind of at the end here. And let's do asterisk R into this and this. And let's save that. Oh, nice. So we got a little bit of the robot back, and now we're really getting something interesting here. So you see, I have no real control and I have no real way of predicting what I'm going to get, or even really telling what part of the image I'm going to be interacting with. But through this exploration, you start noticing things a little bit. So this is by no means, what I'm saying now is absolutely a lie. It's not based on anything. Like these claims are not based on anything. They're just my opinion. But I find that the letter Q's and the letter X and the letter Z sometimes give me like more interesting results. I don't know if that is true. This could be bullshit, but I'm just saying it's something that I've noticed. So I'm going to go with X and exclamation mark and change that into uppercase K and Y. Now let's see what that gives us. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Alright, I'm going to do one last modification here, and that will really be it, I promise. So let's go back to the top. Get a little section here. What am I going to do? And percent replace into 1 and 0. And let's see what we got. Yeah, I kind of trashed it. Honestly, I feel like I should have stopped 2 steps ago. And I'm tempted to kind of go back, which you can do. So if you just Command Z, you can undo some of the changes that you've made. And yeah, I think this was where we were at our highest and primest. This was as good as it was going to get, I think. So I'm just gonna keep this one. And now let's mess with Google. our benevolent overlords here. Let's open it. Let's see what we got. And there is something to be said for working with smaller files. I know that I usually get like the highest resolution images I can get. And when you're working with something like Photoshop, or you're working with something like when you want to do more involved video editing or more involved image editing, you want to have nice chunky files where you'll have a lot of data to manipulate, and you're not going to be losing a lot of quality if you increase things in size when the resolution is high to begin with. You want to get, or you know, and then when you scale it down, obviously you're not going to be losing any quality. But when we're talking in terms of glitch, obviously the larger the image, the more data is there. There is more information to make all those extra pixels that are building the picture, right? The more pixels you have in an image, the more code you need to define each of those thousands of pixels. That means that any kind of change that you will make when you're just affecting a small area in like a large pool of data, the change is going to be less noticeable in a large file. Whereas with a small file, because it's a smaller pool of data, you know, if you throw a pebble into the ocean, you're going to make a smaller splash in proportion to the ocean than when you throw a pebble into a puddle. Oh my god, I'm getting so poetic with this. Anyway, so interesting. There's like a little bit of stuff here. Don't know what this means, and too scared to learn the truth. I'm not going to go in there. So I'm going to select a small section here, and let's go and do some damage. We're all about creation through chaos tonight, creation through deconstruction, which is my main inspiration for doing this video, my main inspiration working with Glitch, and the way that I kind of got into it originally. It's through this amazing media artist named Nick Braze, and his codec tutorial has really changed my practice, and you know I'm incredibly grateful for this incredible artist, and I'll obviously link his channel in the description, and I recommend you all check out his tutorial, which is just incredibly informing. The points that he's making, he's not just talking about the technique, like he shows you the technique, but the much more essentially he's talking about the reason behind making this art and its real significance. Okay, so enough is enough. Let's do this. Let's get capital G and 0 and change that into this and this. Let's see what we're getting here. Okay, subtle. Maybe not even... That didn't really make a dent. Let's go a little bit more aggressive. Let's just go capital G into hashtag. Don't fail me, hashtag. Oh, there you go. This is why you make backups, which I fear I may have not done. We've gone to a place where we've corrupted the file to a point where it's no longer a viewable image file, which is unfortunate. So yeah. So I'm going to go back and go back again and save that so that I can rescue my file, hopefully. And this time I'll do what I say, not do what I do, and actually make duplicates of this. Okay, and now let's open one of those. Where are you? Come on, there we go. Okay, so let's do some more contained damage. We shouldn't go full sledgehammer right away. Okay. Boom. And edit, find, and let's replace again our capital G and O's. And as I said, I have this theory, I don't know if it's right, but Q's work. Sometimes. Okay, so let's replace and save. Nothing. What did I tell you? Q's are bullshit. Sorry, I swore. Sorry, kids. All right, let's get a $sign and replace it with with a capital C. Let's see what we get. Oh. Okay, so this is interesting. We've broken the file to a point where it can't be viewed on my image viewer in my computer, but that does not necessarily mean that it's always the end. I can open this on one of my internet browsers, and sometimes the internet browser will be able to see something that your computer image viewer will not recognize, which is interesting. I don't know how that works, but by God, it does work. Sometimes. It doesn't work this time though, which is a shame. Oh well. I want to make sure that I didn't mess up my thing here. No, still fine. Okay, good. Yeah, so that's disappointing. I'm just going to go back on this. Back pedal. Let's try this again. So this is the last time. Come on, Google. You have so much. Why don't you give me this? It's not a lot. Alright, let's change. Actually, you know what? Let's cast a wider net. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong now. I'll just select a larger chunk here. And we'll take W and replace it with P and capital P. I'll save that. Oh my god, this image is unbreakable. Or it's either unbreakable or so breakable that it breaks. Okay, I'm just gonna select the whole thing. You know, it takes patience to do this kind of stuff. Sometimes you get amazing results, like with the robot, almost right away, and then sometimes you get something like this and it's like, ah, damn you. Oh, but you know what? I think I know what I did wrong here. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Okay, so here's the thing. When you do a screen capture, which is what I did, it saves it as a PNG. So this is not even a JPEG. That's why it's not doing it. So I'm gonna open this in GIMP. Sorry everybody, I'm a moron. And I'll open this. Blah 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 blah, sure. Let's convert it into an sRGB color space. And then I'm going to export it. As a JPEG. Of course I wanna get maximum quality here, just let's go nuts. No? Okay. Let's export that. Game froze on me. Alright, there we go. And now, oh boy, now Google, you're gonna get it. No one's gonna save you now. Man, that was embarrassing. I forgot my own basics here. Okay, so I'm opening this now in JPEG, the correct format, and let's bring some hurt on. Okay. So we're going to find all of these brackets and this winky face, and we're going to replace it with this wave and an exclamation mark. It did nothing. The goggles do nothing to the Google. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to go ham. I'm going to go absolutely ham. Let's change all of the 7s into V's. V is for victory. Victory. Look at that beautiful hot mess. Okay, so it takes some doing. It takes some doing to break the systems of power, but by God, we can do it. Maybe. Okay, so we got this. Now let's see. Place this here, and let's do another one. One more. And this is in JPEG. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Right. It's got a little bit more of like a localized kind of small effect. Just a little bit. This is chaos. Wow, this radio is out for lunch. Just a little chunk here. And we'll do U and replace it with this weird line. And save that. Okay, that was quite a bit more aggressive than I thought it would be. I just affected a small chunk there. But this is what I was talking about earlier. So you see how my image viewer just says that like this part is gone? It's not actually gone. If I drag this into my browser, it is actually gone, even in the browser, which is a bummer, because sometimes it's not. Okay, this is still fine. Alright. Yeah, but like with these ones, sometimes you can salvage these chunks that Google is obviously trying to embarrass me here, but believe me, this does work. Alright, so let's do something with this. So I got my images here. And I'm going to open them. So once you've glitched an image, if you try to like interact with it with a normal image editor, so if I was trying to open something like this in GIMP or Photoshop, sometimes it would give me trouble. I don't know if it will this time around or not, but let's try it. Let's just see what happens. So I'm going to go to GIMP here, and yeah, see you later, and open one of these robots. Yeah, this is what I mean. So you get this little ping telling me that the file is corrupt. And, you know, I mean, you're not wrong, GIMP, but I can still do stuff with it. But sometimes the image will be corrupt to a point where GIMP would just say, it's too corrupt for me to handle. And when that happens, what you do is you create, sorry, just one second. The choice of a new generation. When something like that happens, what you do is you open your image just in your viewer. So I would just open this in my regular viewer, and I would go into full screen and then just take a capture of it. So some of you might say, oh, you're losing resolution, and you're right, I am, but I'm going to get a new image file with all of these, like all of this pixel as I see them on my screen. And something that's, again, kind of like a cool thing with glitch that you want to pay attention to is when you open a glitched image in your viewer, and when you open it in your browser, sometimes you're going to get different results, which is interesting. So yeah, so I have my copy here, and again, it's going to be in PNG, so I'll have to convert it if I want to glitch the glitched image even further. But I'm opening my my glitched original, not the one that I just made, not the capture, but the original one. And then I'm going to open that. I'm just going to make a new screen here. I'm just going to dump this here. You see, you get different results. Safari won't even like touch this. Maybe Firefox will. Firefox is a little cooler than Safari. Firefox, I just gave you a compliment and you're being a real jerk about it. Okay, so let's try it here. There you go. So it's kind of hard to tell, but there is, if you look closely, there is a difference. The blue here is a little bit lusher on my Firefox, and there's a little bit more information on the bars in here. So it's they're similar, but they're not quite the same. And I bet that Firefox would be also able to handle these weird ones a lot better. So this one, look at that. Look at these shades that we're getting here. And let's try it in Firefox. It almost doesn't look like the same image, but it is. It's copy number 2, copy number 2. There's so much more information here. So I can salvage this by making a capture of this one. If I like the Firefox version better than my image viewer version, I don't in this case, but you know, let's say that I do. I can just full screen this and then capture it. And yeah, I'm going to lose resolution again, but you know, I'll still have something to work with. Alright, so let's let's do this one last time. Look at that, it's totally different. Anyway, let's do this one last time. So we got this this one that I really dig, and then open that in Firefox. And again, completely different every time. That's the beauty, that's the magical glitch. And it's also a part of the problem is that at some point you're getting kind of saturated with files, if that makes sense, to the point where you're like, okay, maybe I have too much. I don't know. Sometimes having too many options, it's like, which one is the best one? Like, how can you choose? So, variety is a good thing, but also be careful. Okay, so let's get this, let's get that. And then, did I get this one? I don't think I did. So let's just open this real quick. I'm still in kind of like the harvesting stages here, so I'm getting as many files as I can. Alright. That was kind of nice when it expanded. I don't know if you caught that, it happened really fast, but the colors flickered a bit. Oh, there it did that again. Okay, so now I have all three of these. Let's just get the Google one real quick. Okay, and then let's see what Firefox would make of this. All right. Okay. Oh, you know what? I think I made a grave mistake. Man, such an amateur. Forgot to switch my audio here. Okay. Oh yeah, no, it's fine. It's my snowball. Alright. Okay. Yeah, I'm still learning the ropes here. This is like my 4th stream, so I'm gonna be doing this kind of stuff. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is not really different. This is pretty much, it's pretty samey. There are a few exceptions, but not different enough for me to really get like another copy. Okay, so we have some stuff to work with, and it will be tempting to take this into GIMP and start editing, but I'm going to harvest like just a little bit more, just so that I have you know, a vast variety here. And I'm going to actually show you a different process, a bit of a technically a little bit more involved than what I've been doing so far, but it yields more interesting results, I think. You know, just visually talking purely on the aesthetic side of things, in terms of the conceptual kind of you know, political impact of the process is pretty much same. Like, we're going to be engaging with the code, but we're going to add a layer of we're going to take a step back. We're going to, again, in terms of like the degrees of engagement, we're going to take a degree back. We're not going to engage with hex here. We're not even going to engage with the letters or the text code. We're going to go through an editing software. So we're editing, but we're not going to be editing using the image editing tool. We're going to be editing the code, breaking the code in a way that it wasn't meant, you know, it wasn't, this kind of file format wasn't designed to be interacted with in this way. And that, I think, is interesting, to think about how images are intended to be used by the users of the computer, and then when you use them in unpredictable ways, and get a fairly large brain. Which one of these brains do I want? I definitely want one with color. Okay, I don't want an actual brain though, I just want like a simulation of a brain. Kinda wish I didn't see that. Let's get this colorful brain. This one is also kinda good, but yeah, whatever, let's get this one. Alright, and let's get, I'm gonna try and keep this minimal, because as you've seen, we're going to get a variety of results just by glitching the image in different ways. Let's get, let's get like a big bang, let's get like an explosion. This one is kind of cool. Getting a lot of big bang. I guess it's like a band, and obviously I get Big Bang Theory, the show stuff, which is kind of a bummer. This one is nice. I think this one is nicer. To understand the universe. Yeah, it's quite pretty. Okay, let's get this. Yeah, so this is going to be our background. I don't know that I'll even glitch it. Maybe a little bit. And then I'm definitely going to glitch this though. Let's see how. So let's bring this in here. And I'm going to open this in GIMP. I'll see you in a bit. Where's my brain? Brains. Human brain. There you go. So you're saying, okay, you've opened this obviously in an image editor, and you're going to edit it as an image, so what really have you done here? This is like not glitching it in any way. Well, this is just the step in a process where I'm going to take the image and convert it into a pure data file. And a pure data file, also sometimes called a raw file, is kind of an open-ended, you know, we call it pure data. It's just the information. It doesn't really specify to the computer what this file is. So we're going to take this file's kind of like, you know, we're going to take its last name away, in a sense. Like, we're going to make the computer not be sure what family of files this file belongs to. We're just going to say, just, you know, just treat this as information, and don't worry about the context of it for the time being. And then when we change that context, we're going to say, okay, actually, psych, this is an image file, but we've already changed it in a way that it's not supposed to be changed, and let's see what we get. If that makes sense. I know it's a little bit weird at first, but believe me, this will work. Well, time will tell if it will work, but you know, it could work. So I'm going to go to export this. And again, this is the cool thing about GIMP. I don't think Photoshop would even let you export an image file as a raw data. They're kind of uptight that way. Whereas GIMP is a lot more like, yeah, sure, like play around with things that you're not supposed to play around with. You know, explore this technology, explore its limitations, and explore its boundaries, and try to challenge those boundaries. Okay, so yeah, let's go here, and we're going to save this as a raw image data, which is honestly, I would have been happier if I could have saved this as a .raw. But this is just, it's going to add like a small step later on. It's not really the end of the world. So yeah, let's do that. And I'm going to say that's data. And export. And export. And this is important when you're going through this process, like through this exact process. If you're following me at home and you're kind of going step by step, it's important to when you define the color space, you want it to be planar. Don't ask me why it's important. Honestly, I'm not sure. But I know that this way it works and the other way it doesn't work as well. Also, another thing that you want to do is you want to write down the dimensions of the image, because it will, because it will, oh, you're really invading my space right now. Yeah, it will be important in a bit, so I'm going to just check that real quick. And I have a trusty pen and paper here. I'm just going to dot down the dimensions. There you go. So 4674 by 3739. Cool. Okay, where were we? So we exported this thing, and you see that the data file, these two files contain the exact same information on them. But this one has the extension .jpeg, which tells this computer, give it a little thumbnail, this is an image file, and if I double click it, it will show up in my image finder. I have no idea what will happen if I double click on this. Let's just see. There is no application set to deal with this kind of file. Yeah, so I need to define what application I want. But you see, my computer is kind of like lost a little bit. It says, okay, all I'm getting, like I'm not getting anything to tell me how I should interact with this information. Okay, so how are we going to interact with it? We're going to open this in a very cool piece of software. An old friend of mine. I've been working with it for years, and you know I support them. Again, freeware, so you can get it for free. I'll link it in the description. And also open source, if I am not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it is. Sound editor, and you can make, you can edit music, you can edit sound, you can do really cool thing with audio on here. It's called Audacity. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. And I'm going to open this file in Audacity. So this is where the part when I was talking about kind of like playing with deconstructing the process, deconstructing the technology. This is where it comes into play. So I'm taking an image file, converting it into just the data out of that image context, and I'm going to engage with it through a sound editor. I'm going to engage the data, I'm going to edit it using the tools that you would normally use to edit sound. And the results that we're going to get are going to be visual results. So again, a little bit weird. At first, it's definitely not like an intuitive process, but I think it could be cool. So let's do it. So I'm going to go to File and Import. And this is the cool thing again about Audacity, is like GIMP, Audacity says, we're going to give you the option to play with just raw data, because why not? It doesn't usually lend itself very well to sound. You're not going to get, like, let's just listen to what this file sounds like. So I'm going to get my brain here, brain.data. Let's bring that in. Okay, this is again kind of like technical specs that are important. So your encoding should be ULAW. Don't ask me what it means. I don't know. I just know that this is good. The byte order should be no NDNSS, which means something, I'm sure. And then I'm just going to go mono. I don't need 2 channels. And yeah, and import the whole thing, obviously. Sample rate. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to get out of this, but let's try it. So it's bringing it in, and let's just zoom out a bit so that we can see the actual file. And this is the whole thing. Let's just, just for the heck of it, cover your ears. I just want to see what this sounds like. So what's an image file converted into just the information, taking out of that image context, what would that sound like as a sound file, if we pretended that this was audio? I just wanna... Interesting. I'm just gonna quickly... It just sounds like... It sounds like drilling, honestly. It sounds like we're drilling for oil or something. Okay, so let's play around with this a little bit. I'm going to select the whole thing and apply some kind of effect. Let's it's important, I would say this, it's important, again, don't ask me why, but it's important not to change the length. So, if I like slowed it down and the length of the file would change, that would that would yield not so good results. So I'm going to stay away from stuff that would like I'm going to stay away from stuff that would like slow down or I'm not going to engage with like the pitch or stuff like that. So, but I still have lots of options. Let's apply a phaser to this. and see what that gives us. Okay. Oh, alright, I have... I don't want to apply a double phaser. This one is enough, I think. And then let's also apply... let's just normalize it. This is the new normal. Okay, cool. So now let's export this and see what we get. So I'm going to save this, and you know, you might want to make, before you do that, you might want to make copies of your thing. But actually, I'm just going to save it as a copy. I'm not going to save it to the original. So let's go and export. Export. I know it's here somewhere. There you go. Export just audio. And I'm going to select under other uncompressed files. The header should be raw. Or if you have data here somewhere. That's not a huge deal. I'm just gonna change this in my in just like my Mac here. I'm just gonna change the extension from .raw into .data. And yeah, use data. It's the same thing. Like it doesn't really change that much, but it would mean a lot to GIMP, so I'll do it. I'll do it for you, GIMP. Okay, so let's open this. So we have our one brain here. This is just the original. And let's open the new one. And this is why we wrote down the dimension. We're going to need to define those here. So 4674 by 3739. And I'm going to change the image type into RGB planar. And this doesn't look like much. Honestly, it looks kind of bad. This one looks better. This one looks really funky. I really like this one, and I really like this one. And this one might be interesting, but let's just go with this for now. Let's just see what we get. It's going to take a second for GIMP to like figure this out. It's a fairly large image. Usually I would work with something smaller. Just hope my computer doesn't crash on me. If it does, you know, thanks for watching. I'll try to like be back again. Okay. Come on. Do it. Do it, GIMP. Just do it. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Yeah, I shouldn't have in hindsight, I shouldn't have gone with a massive image like this. I should have gotten something smaller, something more manageable. But, you know, live and learn. It's getting there. Yeah, so again, just to, while I'm waiting on this blue bar to catch up, just to reiterate what I've done here. Because it was, like, for me, I'm not a very technically minded person. And I definitely don't understand, you know, anything about coding whatsoever. So the first time that I've been explained this technique, I was like, wait, you open it in an image editor, but then you don't edit it, and you open it in a sound editor, and you're like, what? So basically, it's just another way. We've just removed ourselves another degree from the code. So if we're talking about like directly engaging with the code would be in binary and you know, programming the file and writing the file is one thing, and that's kind of like the most direct you can really get with it. And then a second degree of separation would be what we've done with the first few images, with the first two images, where we engaged with the code through the filter of hex or like the text language. And then a third removal is doing something like this. So this would be like engaging with the code through a way that it's not necessarily meant to by design be engaged with, right? So that's how we got here. And you can see, like, I actually quite like this. It's given me this retro, this kind of looks like you know, a CD cover from the 90s, which I'm digging. Okay, so let's do this one more time. I'm just going to repeat the process, but I'm going to do it with my Big Bang, just to see what I get. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this image. And I'm going to save it as a JPEG. So that I can, you know, continue working with it, continue editing it further, just by the standard means of editing. And yeah, what are these? I never look at these. Oh yeah, I don't care about any of this stuff. Okay, yeah. And now I've kind of, it's almost like, you know, pouring cement into the mold. This is going to make this image a lot more stable, and like I can now engage with it. You know, we've kind of we went full circle. So we started here, and we've gotten back to our JPEG that I can now open in my viewer. And, you know, my computer is now totally cool with this again. Okay? Alright. So let's do this one more time with my Big Bang here. Alright, yeah. Where you at, GIMP? Okay. So let's close this and open our Big Bang. There we go. And so again, we're going to export it. We're going to say, you know, this is not going to be, for the time being, forget that this is an image file, and just treat it as pure information. So where are ya? Raw image data dot sci data and export. And again, you want it to be planar. Don't ask me why, I do not know. I wish I did. If someone knows, hit me up in the comments. I'd love to know what the difference is between these. And there we go. And now I'm going to open this in Audacity. So import raw data. I love you, Audacity. Thank you for letting me do this ridiculous stuff. And again, you want to have ULAW set for your encoding. I don't know what it means, but I just follow it. And then byte order should be no NDNS. Again, just because I'm sure there are reasons. Oh, but you know what? Again, like an idiot, I forgot to write the dimensions. So this is 2400 by, what does that say? 1800. Yeah, I am old and I can't see. Okay. Yeah, 100% mono is fine, and let's get it. And again, just for shits and giggles, let's see what this sounds like. Scaffoldings. I actually really dig this. I don't know. I don't know why, but this makes me happy. It's so dense. Oh, yummy. Okay. Here there's, oh, and look at these like weird escalations. Oh yeah. Oh. Hell yeah, this is so good. Okay, maybe I'll do, I could be easily persuaded to do like a sound editing session one of these days. One of these art nights. I might go ballistic. Okay, so yeah, so I have this, and let's apply some kind of effect on here. Again, you want to avoid really engaging necessarily with like the length, but everything else is up for grabs. So let's invert it just to see what we'll get. And I have to know. Oh. Yum. Okay. And let's do something else. Distortion. Distortion. Hard overdrive. Let's see what we have here. We got all these templates. Leveler. Recitifier distortion. Hard limiter. I think hard overdrive actually sounds... Yeah, go big or go home, right? Let's do it. Okay, interesting. And let's normalize this again. Because why not? Okay. Yeah, sorry. All right, and then let's send it out. Let's export it. So, save, export audio. My brain is gone, and let's other uncompressed files. And save that. Okay. Alright, thank you, Audacity. That was lovely. And I forgot to rename it. That was why. Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, GIMP can't handle it because it's in RAW. But I forgot to rename this, so I'm going to rename this. First of all, I'm going to say, you know, that it's edited. And then I'm going to actually change the extension back to data so that it's more palatable to that. that it's more palatable to the GIMP. Alright, and now let's get real. So open, you know the drill by now. What am I doing? I don't know the drill by now. Okay, edited. Let's get this. And again, define the size here. So this was 2400 by 1800. Okay, lovely. And let's change that. So we got planar RGB is kind of our default. Let's see what RGB gives us. Ooh, interesting. Alpha. So, oh, neat. So alpha turns all of this stuff into, because we had it. So what we've done is we've inverted the image. So we're getting like, oh man, this will be a cool frame for something. This is pretty cool. Indexed and indexed alpha. Yeah, I'm kind of torn. My instinct says go with planar, but then RGB 565 just looks. Yeah, let's just see what we get. So this is going to take a second again. While we're waiting on this, it's not going to be as long as the previous one because this image is a lot smaller. But just a note on, you know, some of you might have noticed that I usually do these streams on Tuesday, and then today is obviously, you know, for some of you it's already Saturday, for some of you it's still Friday evening. Yeah, so I had a very, on a personal level, I had a very intense week and I couldn't quite make Tuesday. But I'm really committed to this. I really want to keep doing this. Oh my god, this is beautiful. Look at this black hole. We've turned a Big Bang into a massive black hole. Hot damn, this is... Alright. Yeah, sorry. But as I was saying, so I want to keep doing this. I want to keep making this content for the sake of myself. Honestly, I'm doing this for the most selfish reasons, just so that I stay motivated in my work. But also, you know, I'm really hoping to get more people on board, and I'm hoping that people are watching this and are enjoying what I'm doing. So, you know, I hope more of you join in and make your own stuff, make this stuff if you want to, and we'll all have more time to just be creative. So I'm making, you know, I'm making this pledge, and I'm hoping that Tuesday is still going to be my day. I would say I won't change it unless I have to, or unless, again, if I have some kind of like weird schedule conflict, then I might change things around. But I'm hoping to keep Tuesdays going. Yeah. All right. So let's dig into this beautiful mess here. So I'm going to save this as a JPEG just so that I have it. JPEG. And I really like, from what I've kind of just glimpsed it now, but I really like the idea of playing with the alpha. So changing this into something like PNG, and then I'll just have, you know, it will kind of cut the explosion out for me because I'll only have that signal. I'll be able to use that. Maybe I'll even edit to... I'll play around with this during the week, and maybe I'll record what I'm doing just as kind of like a side video, like a companion video to this. this is why I love this. This is why I love this project, so that we you know, the Art Night project as a whole, is that this gives me inspiration. This gives me ideas of other stuff I can make. So taking this work and exploring it further, and keeping you guys posted on the developments. Yeah, what a time to be alive. Alright, so let's do that. Bing. Nice. Okay, so let's just clear this out and then bring everything in. Let's just dump everything on here. So I got my, where is it? Just hide this real quick. And get all my duckies in a row. So I have my original file. I don't even know if I'll use these lame originals, but I'll just lay them down here so that I have them if I need them. And then I have my images that I've edited. And I've made copies of them. So these are in PNG. And then I also have these ones that are the corrupted JPEGs. And I don't know how well GIMP is going to handle these. So I'm not going to push it in that way. But it's a good idea to keep these archived, especially if you know that you're working on something that's ongoing, and you want to be able to revisit stuff and like maybe add layers of glitch, maybe mix two different glitches. So I have these images now as JPEGs. There's nothing preventing me from taking this brain and like dissecting it further through hex, right? So I got this. I'm just gonna, you know, safety first, I'm just gonna make a duplicate of this real quick. Yeah, so I've already opened this guy. Or did I? I forgot which one. Okay, let's just work with this. I'm so spastic tonight. I don't know, I'm just going in many different directions. Alright, so yeah. So I've created this new file, but now it's a JPEG. So again, I can keep doing this. I can keep going in this infinite loop of just editing in different ways and just adding layers and layers of abstraction. Yeah, so let's just you know, let's just like do IL and replace it with 5 line. We'll replace all, save it. Okay, so that's not very remarkable, but that's the idea. So I can keep going with this. Let's just go very aggressive. Maybe not all the way down. Alright. And change. Again, let's kind of like the key letters here that always give me good results. So QI, change it into like X0. I don't know why these always, like, not always, but these normally like give me something interesting. And you see my computer is kind of given up on this image, but let's see what Firefox has to say about it. Just for the heck of it. Just for the heck of it. Sorry, I'm not gonna make those puns ever again, sorry. See, so this is your brain submerged in a teal solution. It's great. Alright, sorry, forgot to grab that. Yeah, let's get this. Definitely get this. And you know, sadly I'm going to lose resolution here, but whatever. It's worth it for this neat image. I'm just going to enter full mode view here. Just so that I get as much as I can out of this. Oh, it's so lush. Like, further editing is almost unnecessary. If I was kind of being true to the process, which I'm not, I'm a hack, but if I was being true to the process, I would say this is a complete work. If we're just gonna keep things glitch, look at this. This is all you need. Like, oh my god, this is so cool, so beautiful. My computer made that. Okay, so let's open this in GIMP. I don't need this. Let's bring some of this stuff in here. Beep, 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 beep. Come on, GIMP. Why you treat me like this? Yes, convert. Always convert. Okay. Yes, yes, convert. You know. Alright, 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 alright. Lovely. Oh, one more. Yeah, this is way too many files. GIMP. You're being so extra today. Yeah, I'm not really. I'm such a Photoshop like addict, and I don't really. Jeez Louise, how many images have I pulled in here? This has to be the last one, surely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we're clear. All right. So out of these, I don't know which one is the biggest one. I think it must be this one. Alright, so this will be kind of like our base here. And we're going to drop everything else on there. So let's get this this modified one. Put that in there. Thank you. And then this one. Oops! No, no, no! I didn't want this. Yeah. Okay. There we go. No! God damn it, GIMP. They're being so difficult. Yeah, yeah, you need to lock it in, don't you? New layer. Oh, it did it badly. Floating, yeah, okay. To new layer, yeah, now we're talking. Okay, good. So I'll move this out of the way here, and I'm working on this. Now, let's try this again. There you go. Was that so hard? Let's just save this so I have it. Save it as a project, so in case it crashes on me, I still want to have it. Save it on my desktop. Okay, fine, and then let's continue on our way here. So I'm done with this one. And Command C. And Command V. Alright, yeah, I got this now. I got the process down. So turn that into a new layer, yeah. GIMP is not that dissimilar from Photoshop. It's once you figure one of them out, it's pretty samey. But in terms of just their practices, GIMP is so much better, so much friendlier. Alright. This radio is out of control. It's just out of control. Okay, so here we go. Again with this. We're almost done bringing all of these in. I know it's not very exciting to see me just dropping files on top of each other, but it is what it is. Are these all the same size? Oh yeah, they are. They're all screen captures. That's why this is happening. Right, get this guy out. Alright, and we have 2 more left. We're almost there. We're almost at the finish line here. So let's get this one. And place that in. And then discard changes. And get my Google logo, which I messed with. Alright, and that, as they say, is that. Yes, and save this. Alright, and now I'm free to like start having fun in kind of like the traditional editing sense. Yes, so I can you know, start editing this the same kind of like traditional way that I would an image in Photoshop, or you know, in GIMP, which is what we're working with today. So I can move things around, and I can play with the blending modes, and I can create masks, etc, etc. And you can see that GIMP is a little slower on the draw, but still gives good results. So I'm gonna start by kind of setting out the background here. I have this massive brain for a background right now. Let's see if I can make something interesting out of that. So I'm gonna just quickly hide these robots. because damn. And let's make our background out of these two layers of awesomeness. Okay. I think I like this one better a little bit, but well, you know, this will be kind of like the base, and then this will be on top of it. So, what's the scaling tool? I think it's this one, right? Scale, okay, yeah. I'll just work on this guy, and like extrude it. And get this, oh, forgot to lock it in. Sorry. Keep going. Yeah, I'm like a GIMP baby. I am a GIMP. I'm not really used to this. Right, so let's just say okay to this. It's gonna take a second. My computer is doing a lot, and it might crash on me again, so if it does, have a good night, everybody. Oh, now it's doing it. Good. It's so pretty. I really like how it's kind of drawing it line by line, actually. It's a nice touch. Alright, let's bring that up. And now let's bring it down, all the way down. So that I have it. And now let's do the same thing with this bad boy here. So scale that a bunch. Keep going. No, you want to. Up, up, and away. And let's scale that. If it crashes, good night, everybody. It's my safe kind of like stereotypical like prayer that I say before I hit the road with these stuff. I'm like, it's gonna crash. See you, everybody. And then like secretly, I'm hoping that that's going to stave off the crash. Yeah, I did it. See, it works. Okay, we're almost at the bridge now. Let me take you to the bridge. Oh man, it's so neat how it's painting it on. I should do like a screen capture of this paint on stuff in GIMP and play with that some, because I like it. Now the next one after that is going to be this massive explosion, but I want to get rid of this kind of gray. I want that gray to be, I want the explosion to be on there like on its own. So That will take some doing. I need to figure out how to do that, and I don't know currently. What's this? What even is this? Oh, right. You know, I think that this brain on its own doesn't really need to be here. I kind of like it as it is. I think it's perfect. So I'm just gonna cut this layer away. We don't need you. How do I do that though? Oh, there we go. Delete layer mask. Delete layer, there we go. Bye! Okay, great. Now, let's see how I do this. So I can play with the blending modes, obviously. Maybe something like lighten. No, maybe something like darken. Yes. Yes, this is better. But will it work on this stuff? Is the question. Somewhat. Somewhat. It's non-conclusive. I would say this is non-conclusive. Maybe multiply? Multiply always gives me weird stuff. Yeah, it's still kind of dark. Burn. Burn. No. Overlay. No way. Okay, yeah, I think multiply might be it. But it's still kind of fey. I want it to be... Alright. Yeah, give me... Come on. Ugh. There we go. Yeah, I'm just going to try and like get this selected. Double merge, select by composite, threshold. Yeah. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, I don't want to do this for the whole image though, every single shade of gray. I want it to like be contiguous, which you can do. I hate to say this, like this is a lot easier to do in Photoshop. Okay. Select by color. And where's my eyedropper? Alright, so select by color. This color. Okay, there you go. Oh. It's selected the wrong color. Alright, let's try it now, and let's turn that into a mask. So, add layer mask. Selection, and I think I need to invert it. It could be wrong. Yeah. There you go. That was, oh my god, that was so simple. It's just, yeah, it's just a matter of, and I want to deselect all of this nonsense. Yeah. So, yeah, I want to deselect. Go away selection. There we go. And let's scale this up. So that it fills the whole thing, the whole damn thing. The whole damn thing. Okay, and scale. What have I done? Oh no, oh no, oh no, I've scaled the mask. Dear God, no. What? What? I have a feeling, okay, I'm doing this and I have a feeling that the mask will not follow me. But we'll see. I can just delete the mask and make a new mask. But let's just see how GIMP does here. This is test time, GIMP. This is your test. I hope you realize the stakes. Alright everybody, good night. If this thing crushes on me, it's been a slice. I'll post the results in a bit. Don't crush, don't crush, don't crush, don't crush, don't crush. Oh, hell yeah, it's doing it. Neat. Okay. Alright, so this is a little bit aggressive. I'm going to bring the opacity down on it just a tad. Okay, and then let's start getting real with the brain here. And now we know how to get that gray. So it's going to be real easy. It's going to be smooth sailing from now on. Yum, yum, yum. I just don't want to I don't want to push like 5 things on GIMP when it's kind of like struggling. So let's select by color again. Noise and apply a mask. And yes. Oh, you know me so well, GIMP. Oh man, this is disgusting. And I don't want none of this. None of this in a bun. None. Okay, great. Now let's scale. This one I would say I would scale down a touch. It is kind of extra. Not the mask though, I've learned my lesson. The brain. The brain in Spain. Oh, 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 no, 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 no. There you go. Scale. What I kind of want to do, I kind of like these motion blur. Look at his beautiful energy lines that I'm getting here. I can maybe expand them across the screen and just stretch this brain out. But before I do that, I wanna let GIMP write this first and see what it looks like. Honestly, doesn't look too bad. But I do want to stretch it out anyway. So I will. Yeah. So and let's kind of crush it down. It's the brain of like the xenomorph. This kind of looks like that would be the brain of like a xenomorph. They're a lot more intelligent than people think they are. And okay, I'll scale that. And while it's doing this, and you know, again, like hopefully it will work. But while it's doing this, again, kind of like a word about, is this even like glitch anymore? Like we're now going through this, like we're going through the motions of making this just like a regular image. I don't know. That's really up to you to decide if you just want to stop at the glitch phase or take it beyond that and edit it beyond that and kind of creating this like hybrid in terms of the processes that you're using. I'm gonna crank the opacity down on this a touch again. See what that looks like. And let's bring in our Google logo. I feel like it's time. This brain has been brought to you by Google. I'm going to scale it up some. No, not you. You. Yep. Or Europe. Okay. And now let's get rid of some of this. So let's just get rid of this. Yeah. Kind of boring there. And layer mask. Okay. Interesting. What have I done? Oh, I have affected the mask again. Goodness. There we go. Kinda add that extra layer here. And now I can play with the blending mode maybe. I think exclusion, something like exclusion would be nice on this. Oh, it doesn't have that here. Okay. Maybe subtract? No. Maybe difference? Okay, I'm feeling that one a tiny bit more, but it's kind of stupid looking. Maybe overlay? Something more subtle. Well, that's very subtle. Maybe burn. No. Okay. I think I'm just gonna keep it unless. Yeah, I kind of like that. I feel like it's too small still. Google, like, their part in this like AI robot culture should not be underestimated. Let's call the child by its name. There we go. And like I'll draw on this mask. You think I won't? I will. I will draw on this mask. Uh, well, I'll try to anyway. Where is my palette here? There we go. Let's make this brush quite a bit larger. That's more like it, but maybe a little bit more. And then just kind of make this a little smoother. There we go. Still kind of choppy here, but yeah, that's good. Alright. I can do like a little bar. And fill that. Nice. Alright. I like that. And then last but not least are our robots. I want this brain to be a little more muted. You can hardly see the explosion. Maybe even 60. Yeah, like it's there. You see it. But it's not like burning in your face. And then let's bring in our main attractions here. What the hell am I going to do with these robots? They don't really belong here. They belong in their own thing. Okay, and then let's play with this a little bit. So I think these ones would be cool as an overlay because they're kind of like hiding, you know? You can't really see them, but maybe burn is better. Because these robots are going to burn your city down. No. Hard light? Hard light. How about that? How about that hard light? Alright, and let's bring that, again, I'm gonna put a mask on this. Oh, I forgot I was going to be inverted. Okay, I'm like, I just made everything visible. Why is it gone? There you go. And bring my brush again. But I actually liked what I was doing here. So let's do it this way. Just make a bunch of stuff. Kind of make like a glitchy, like imitate glitch bars. See what I'm getting out of this, if anything. Just make like a bunch of these. Alright. This song is so... This song is perfect. What is this? What's playing right now? My Name by Shake It. Or maybe it's Shake It by My Name. Not sure. Okay. So yeah, so this happened. And now let's bring the other robot in. I might apply a gradient just to like kind of make this a little less severe, but let's see what it looks like. So let's flip this guy around. Flip it, flip it, flip it, flip it. Okay, our mechanic overlords are here. And they're real mad. Because we've been hitting them with hockey sticks. They don't like that. So let's blend this in some, I think, darken for this. It's not too bad, but maybe we can do better. Let's try burn, because this one is a little darker, so I think burn would be... Ooh, interesting. This is not too bad. I'm still not sold on this. Let's try something different. Let's try overlay. Overlay is a lot less aggressive than burn, but it's a little too weak. Maybe multiply. No, multiply is too present. Difference. Interesting. Subtract. Dodge. Dodge. Look at this. They're almost inverted this way. I think dodge might be it. Yeah, I think dodge is our winner. Okay, so let's get some, again, let's kind of cut some into this. I just want to say I love this radio. I'm not sure what's going on, but I love it. Alright. I don't want this. I do want this. And I do want this. Alright. Let's try this. And select none, please. Okay, so we're very close now. You know, insert menacing headline here. Maybe I'm gonna bring this one way up. This will be the last thing I'll do. And change the mode on this to something like lighten. Just to add that extra layer of abstraction. And bring the opacity down a bunch. And then bring the brain up in the mix a touch. I kinda crushed it a little too early in the game and now I regret it. You need to have your brain. Use your brain, people, come on. I need to have your xenomorph brain. Maybe even 90. We're only using 10% of our brains, so let's invert that. Because the robots are using 90% of their brains. You know, or so I'm told. Let's move this down so that we don't have this. And we're almost there. This is very close. The only thing that I would do is just make this Google logo even more massive. They can't be allowed to get away with this kind of stuff. We've had enough of your tyranny, Google. Alright, so this will be kind of like the last thing. I'm gonna move this around a bit. Okay. Let's bring this up. No, 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 no. Hell no, no. This one. What are you doing? Again, I think this would be a really neat video. Just like all of these lines running around. Yeah, I don't want to, what's happening is I'm trying to engage with this Google layer, and I'm just gonna hide this so that I don't need to worry about it just for a second. And now I know that I'm directly working with Google here. There you go, that's what I wanted. That's all I wanted. Maybe even a little bit more. And I'm going to actually, with the mask here, just get rid of this because I find it somewhat distracting in a big way. Alright. And that is, I would say, pretty much that. I like the brain better without this yellow streak, so I'll just apply a quick mask here. It's the thing, like once you start with this stuff, it never ends. Yeah, but let's just do this quickly. What is this ridiculous song? Oh, it's so good. Alright, let's add this on there. Add this. It's gonna be mostly, like this area is going to be mostly selected because I'm not a fan of this yellow streak here particularly. Yeah, this will be like the last little bit. Okay, this is good enough. And then let's fill that with our foreground one more time. Bring that brain back. Oh, I still have my selection active. So let's select none of it. Good, and we're pretty much done, I would say. So, this one has been a little extra long. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that glitch is something that you will consider at least giving a try, because it is lots of fun, and the fact that you kind of like relinquish a bit of control. You don't get, like, when you make a decision editing in something like GIMP, for example, I kind of know what I'm going to get, and I have full control over the image. Once you kind of master the very basic tools, you can, you can make the image do whatever it is you want it to do. But there's something to be said. There's something liberating about just like clicking the buttons and kind of like, letting Jesus take the wheel and see what you get. Which is what we've done with glitch. You engage with the perimeters in ways that you don't understand, and you get something. And sometimes it's going to be something great. Sometimes it's going to be something very lame. Sometimes it's going to break the file. Yeah. Anyway. I love it. I hope that you give it a try. Definitely check out Nick Breeze's tutorial if you're at all interested in this. If this has been like even a tiny bit intriguing to you. He does a way better job than me explaining this stuff, and it's just incredibly inspiring listening to him. He talk about making internet art, and why that is important and why it is so eminent and relevant. So highly recommended. I cannot recommend this channel enough. He's great. Yeah, thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you next week. It's going to be Tuesday again. Yeah, have a good one. Bye.